I messed up real bad, y'all. I'm back in my car with my bag of books. So I gave myself a budget of $80 because the books in this warehouse are all 70% off. And so I picked up one book, and I think the sticker price was, I don't know what the sticker price was, but whatever the math that I did was, the discount was like $13, and I would only have to pay like $5 or so for it. So I was like, all right then, so these books are pretty cheap. And so I just kept picking them up. And every lap I made of the warehouse, I just kept seeing things that I didn't see before. And I didn't just buy for myself. I mean, I bought like 80% for myself, 85% for myself. And I ended up spending, I don't have the receipt is somewhere in here. I ended up spending $147. That was not in my budget, and I'm strict about my budget these days because I'm trying to save, and I'm also just trying to be more responsible. So now I have to move money around. I'm not touching my savings or anything, but now like the money that I gave myself as pocket money, I'm probably gonna have to allocate towards what I just did, which I mean makes sense as it was pocket money. I'm just not the happiest about that. So I got to do some calculations because I also planned on going grocery shopping after this. So before I can do that, I need to do the calculations or whatever. But I had a really good time. It was really nice. I'll talk about it more when I get home and in front of my other camera. I'm back. I don't know if I said this, but it has been literal hours. Like I got here at, I don't know when I got here. I think I got here at, it was 12 something. It is 4 something, right? What time is it? It's 4:23 right now. So I have been here for at least 3 hours. I want to say I've been here for almost 4. That's insane. But I digress. It was a good day. It was a really good day. So we'll talk about it later. Alright, it is the part of the video that you all have been waiting for, the book haul. So, I don't know if I talked too much about my experience at the book outlet in the warehouse before, but it was a really good time. I enjoyed this Saturday so much, doing something that I really love, just being around books. Everybody had like huge trolleys or just things that they were putting massive amounts of books in, and it was just cool being around my people. The experience itself was everything I thought it was going to be in that way, but also nothing like what I thought it would be, because I was expecting that I was going to go here and I was going to find all of the big name books that I was looking for. I was planning to go to Barnes & Noble for at a super discounted price because, as I mentioned earlier, all of the books in the warehouse were 70% off. I thought that I was going to get my Emily Henry. I thought that I was going to find the Fourth Wing series, stuff like that, and I did not. So that is not to say that they did not have good books. They just didn't have like the book talk books or the Bookstagram books, the ones that we get a lot of. They get a lot of hype on the internet. So it forced me to actually interact with the books a little bit more, like read the synopsis for myself and decide, is this a story that I'm interested in? So it created a little bit more intentionality, which I actually ended up enjoying, because I'm realizing that there, to me, is a problem with only reading things that other people have told you is popular. Like I think like the ratings on Goodreads and the ratings on Fable and what everybody else is reading, we always want to be, I tend to want to be like in the know and, doing what everybody else is doing in that regard. But it took me back to the days like elementary school and middle school, where I was going to the library and picking up a book that I just wanted to read because I thought it was an interesting story. So I enjoyed that. The last time I did something like that, like legitimately without reading something that was recommended, was maybe the summer of 2017, because that's when I graduated college, when I first tried to start this channel, and I went to Barnes & Noble and I picked a book by an author I didn't know. I literally told myself, just pick something that you haven't heard of, an author you haven't heard of, just read the synopsis and see if you like the book. I think it was called The Memory Book. It was called The Memory Book, and I loved that book. It was so good. So thinking about all of that has me really excited about these, because I did not go in there knowing about any of these books, but I picked them because I'm really interested in the story, genuinely. So when the time comes and I start to read these, well, actually some of these I did know about because they had a lot of classic books in there, like Little Women and stuff like that. But when it comes time for me to read these, I cannot wait to share them with you. So I have separated them out in front of me into different like categories, and I'm just going to start sharing them with you by category. So the first category that I want to share with you are like children's books slash picture books, because I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I really want to get into that. Right now, the only children's book slash picture book that I own is a Polar Express. I got that for Christmas. And so I picked up a couple more in there, and I'm really excited about them. So this first one is called Only the Best. The Exceptional Life and Fashion of Anne Lowe. So I picked it up because the cover is beautiful, but then I opened it up and found out that this real life woman is from Alabama, my hometown. So I wanted to put that on my bookshelf. The next one that I got is Enchanted Tales. It is magical fairy tales from around the world. The only story that I recognize in this is Snow White, and I just thought that it would be I love fairy tales. I love Disney, but I thought that it would be a really good opportunity to familiarize myself with fairy tales from other places, not just the ones that we know here. Or I think they're from Germany, maybe, and then we got them here or something. There's some history behind that, but you know, the Cinderella, all that stuff. I want to get to know some more princesses and fairy tales and all that stuff. So I got that. I thought that would be really cool. Princess Hair. I got this for obvious reasons. You see? But I opened it up. It was really cute. Very cute. Not too much of like a narrative driven story just about hair. But I thought that I love the representation, and when I have kids one day, specifically a daughter, that's something that I could share, you know, give to her. That's very cute. Another book that I found, I thought the cover was gorgeous. I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this name correctly, but Yenebi's Drive to School. And from what I remember reading of the synopsis, it's about a Mexican-American girl. She lives in Mexico, but she's an American citizen, and she commutes from Mexico to her school. So I think it's about like the scenes or the things that she passes along the way. And the author, that's how her life was growing up. I know nothing about that, but I thought that that's cool. I would really like to, you know, see this from her perspective and just get a feel for somebody else's American experience, their way, you know, a part of their life. Another one that I got, I thought this was, I'm really excited about this one. It is called Nothing Happens on a Gray Day. Nothing ever happens on a gray day. I love rainy days. I think that they are the coziest days, and I just can see myself cozying up with this book on the couch when it's raining outside. It's just very cute. I'm excited to read it. And then the last picture book I got, because it reminds me of the style of picture books that I would read when I was in elementary school. It's called On Account of the Gum. I thought this was really cute. I just love the artwork, and I believe it was a finalist for some sort of award, a Junior Library Guild selection. So I'm really excited to add these books to my children's book. Ooh, I'm really excited to add these books to my children's books / picture books section on my bookshelf. So I'm gonna put these over here. Kind of stemming from that, I also got two, I believe these are, I want to say they're middle grade because they're not YA. So we'll go with middle grade because I think that I would have read these books in like middle school. But I went back and forth with both of them because I just wasn't sure that I wanted to read this. Like, I'm 30 years old. But then I was thinking, like, I got the picture books, and I just think that it's important to read stories not only from different genres but from different age groups. I kind of want to see what, you know, the authors are writing for the kids these days, because when I was growing up, I loved Sharon Flake, The Skin I'm In, Sharon Draper, the Hazelwood High trilogy, Romeo and Julio, like Tears of a Tiger, Forged by Fire, Darkness Before Dawn. Those were my books back then. And so I'm really excited to try these. So I found this one. It's called There Goes the Neighborhood. It's a Coretta Scott King award-winning book. It's about gentrification in Los Angeles, and it got amazing reviews. So I actually read a little bit past the first page, and I'm excited to read it. So I think it's going to be really good, and it might bring back the feels of being this age and thinking about what it might have been if this was a book that I had back then. But I don't know. I'm just excited to read it because I think that we need to read books from different age groups. And then I found A Girl, a Raccoon, and the Midnight Moon. So I went back and forth on this one too, but then I read the review that they have on like the bottom front, and it's by Gail Carson Levine, the woman who wrote Ella Enchanted, and she says that this book is a paean. This book is a praise to books, reading, librarians, and the preciousness of home, wherever home may be, bursting with charm, lovable characters, and excitement that builds and builds until I almost exploded. With a review like that, how can I not read this? I believe the girl in the book, she loves the library. She practically lives in there because her mom's a librarian, and then something happens in the library, like a piece of the statue that she loves, the head of the statue that she loves is stolen. So then it turns into a mystery book. But it's all about like the love of books, the love of libraries, and I just thought that the premise of it was very cute. It's in New York City, which is one of my favorite cities. And yeah, so I got this. I think that it'll be a really cute middle grade read. So I'll put this over here too. Where to go next? I also, they had classic books in there, so I got 3 of those. This is a beautiful cover. So the first one that I got is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I'm very familiar with this story. I have the DVD up there with, I think it's Susan Sarandon. She's, whatever movie, I believe it's her. I really think it's her. That version of Little Women. But I found this book. I'm pretty sure I've read it before. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to read it again. It's a classic, and I don't think it's super hard to read. Because I also picked up some books in there like Wuthering Heights and started reading through them, and I was just like, I'm not getting this one. I'm not getting this one. I already graduated. I got my degrees. I'm not trying to go to an English, a lit class right now. But anyway, so I got Little Women. Really excited about that. I found The Secret Garden. I'm pretty sure I read this before too in elementary school, but I don't care because I recently put it on my Goodreads TBR list, and I'm going to be reading it again, and it's such a pretty cover. Such a pretty cover. And then I found The Picture of Dorian Gray. Again, I don't know if I said this in this video, but I'm really interested in, lately I've been interested in aging and people's perceptions of it. And so this book says, in Oscar Wilde's timeless classic, The Picture of Dorian Gray, a portrait ages while its subject remains forever youthful. Dorian Gray's descent into moral decay and hedonism reveals the haunting consequences of a life devoted to eternal beauty. A captivating exploration of vanity, corruption, and the cost of immortality. Thought that was really cool. So, Little Women, The Secret Garden, and The Picture of Dorian Gray are the 3 classic books I got. Let's see. So, these are all... I have 2 in front of me right now, 2 different categories, but they're all fiction, but I kind of separated them. So, this first one is like representation type of fiction. I found this book that's called Nerd Crush. Hopefully you can see that. I'm trying to get the glare off the book. Nerd Crush. It's about cosplay culture, which I don't know anything about, but I saw the cover and I thought it was really cute. So from what I understand, this girl, she loves to cosplay her favorite characters, and her parents don't understand that about her. But I think in order to get some confidence after her friend moves away or something like that, she decides to cosplay somebody and like make that her real life persona to get this guy that she wants, and then she gets him and she doesn't have to tell him that this person that she's pretending to be is not really her. But I just thought that it's really cute. I don't know much about cosplay, but I think it's really cool when I see it, and I would definitely participate in that. So I think it would be, I'm excited to get a look into this culture that I'm not really in, but like the first one of the first reviews for it says you don't have to be a nerd. I am to have a crush on this book, but as a nerd I crushed on this book so hard. A fun, heartfelt, and adorable read. A love letter to nerd culture. Lovers of cosplay and big romantic gestures won't be disappointed. I just think it would be cool to read about something that I'm not super familiar with, but I love that there's a black girl on the cover. Okay, so that's why I got it. Another one that I got in terms of representation is Wash Day Diaries, and this is actually in comic book. Can you see that? In comic book style. But I love seeing these black women on the front, and my wash day for my hair is like every 3 weeks on a Sunday. And so I just thought that this would be like a cute read one time, like if I'm in the mood to read something about this. Yeah, this would be nice. I think it's kind of adulty because I opened it up and I saw a little adult-like scene. So, parental guidance recommended if somebody is underage watching this video. Okay, so then the other fiction books I got, this one is called The Lonely Hearts Cinema Club. And I got it because, again, one of my interests as of late is aging. And the synopsis of this book is about, it says 20-year-old Jenny is struggling to make friends at university and moves into Sunset Promenade to escape her problems. Her roommates are a little older than she was expecting. Sunset Promenade is a private nursing home taking in students to save money. At first, the new residents clash, but when Jenny introduces a movie night, the group realizes they have more in common than they think. And I'm also planning to, I have on my 2025 bingo card to volunteer at a nursing home this year. And so the concept of this book, which involves like the elderly and then college age students moving in together and them sharing like some sort of bond over watching movies, which I love cinema. I just think that that's a really interesting premise for a book, and I'm really excited to read this one. Out of all of them, this might be one of the first ones that I read. So when I do, I will put this review somewhere. Another book that I found is Gods in Alabama. I picked it for obvious reasons. I'm from Alabama. I went to school there, Roll Tide. But I read the synopsis. I read the very first page and I was hooked. It says in chapter 1, there are gods in Alabama. Jack Daniels, high school quarterbacks, trucks, big tits, and also Jesus. That's Alabama. And I feel like this will feel like a really big, I mean, I don't know if it's a feel-good book, but I'm from Alabama. I don't live there anymore, but I'm kind of close. But I don't know. I just love things that remind me of home. So I'm also excited to read this one. This might be like one of the top 2 that I read first. I found this one, Summer by the Sea, another fiction book. I think it's adult fiction. I keep turning it so that you guys can see it without the glare. But I like this one because, or I was drawn to this one. This is one of the first books I picked because I love summertime. I love lighthouses. And then I opened up the book to read the synopsis, and the main character's name is Faith, which is my middle name. So I was like, it's a sign. I got to get the book. Excited to read this one too. It'll probably be one of my reads around this summer. And this one, I'm not ashamed to say that I got literally because of how beautiful the cover page is. I don't know if you guys can see that. I really hope you can. But it is called Written in Starlight. And I believe it is the second book in a series. But this book, or the books in the series, the author says can be standalone. I prefer to read books even if they're standalone in the order that they were written. But the book cover was so beautiful that I got it anyway. I believe the first book in the series is called Woven in Moonlight, which is a Time magazine best fantasy book of all time. So I got this, but I might have to go ahead and get the other one first before I read this one. But this one had pretty good reviews, and I believe it's a fantasy book because the first one was a fantasy book. So I don't know when I'll read this, but yeah, one of the reviews I think I read on Goodreads said that it has great descriptions of food, so that's another reason that I got it. So yeah. And then I have my nonfiction books. So I found this one. It says K-Drama School, a pop culture inquiry into why we love Korean television. And I got it literally because I like the cover of this book. It reminds me of something. I was going to say it reminds me of ramen noodles. And I guess it makes sense because there's like noodles up here. But one of the reviews says it's a book that's funny, insightful, and smart in ways that only a media studies PhD turned stand-up comic could deliver. I am a media studies PhD. I have not watched any K-drama, but I can see myself trying it. I think I will. But I'm just interested to read about this because anything media studies, that's kind of my field, and I've not read I haven't read any academic work since graduating. I think this would be a good foray back into that. And one day I think that I would like to write a book of my own. So this might give me ideas for maybe how to format it, see how somebody else wrote their work. But I'm really excited to dive into it. It was calling to me, so I got it. Another book that I got is called nonfiction book that I got is Thin Places, Essays from In Between. I believe these are essays about faith in America and I think the different ways it shows up in people's daily lives. The author had a similar experience to me when I was younger, so that kind of is what drew me into the book. But I kept deciding like whether or not I wanted to put this back. But I got it, and one of the things that the book outlet kept telling people on their social media to do was like just open yourself up to different things that you might not normally try. So this actually has really good reviews online, and when I have a nonfiction themed month, this will probably be one of the books I read along with the K-drama book. And then this is also nonfiction, but it is crafty because they had craft sections. So I got a crochet book because I really want to get back into this. I learned how to crochet when I was younger in summer camp. And so this shows like a lot of like the stitches. And then at the end of it, it has projects. So I like how it's laid out. And I'm definitely going to try this when I have some time because I have a bunch of yarn over there that I got for Christmas that I need to use. And then the final things that I got were gifts for my niece and nephew and my mom. So I got my niece and my nephew. My nephew, I got him this dinosaur book. I believe it has stickers in it. He's interested in dinosaurs. And then my niece, I got her this insect book because she's interested in insects. And specifically, she really likes bees. So I also got her a bee journal. I hope she likes that. And then for my mom, I got this How to Age Without Getting Old because she's in that stage of life where she's, you know, dealing with mental effects of aging, like just being a little bit nervous about it. So she really enjoys Joyce Meyer, so I got this book for her. I was looking for stuff for everybody in there, but the time was running out, so I had to I had to leave because I spent 4 hours there. And then finally, this isn't a book, but it's a little marquee. It says Itty Bitty Marquee. Hopefully you guys can see that. But I thought that this would be cute to put on my bookshelf because I'm in the process of trying to get it together. I'm really excited that I have some new additions to put on there. But I thought it would be a cute thing to just decorate one of the shelves. So that is my book outlet, this book warehouse that I went to today haul, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. This was actually my second time filming the video. The first one was super unnatural and weird, but this one I think went a little bit more smoothly. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. Until next time, bye.